Welcome back to 55 Plus Living in Oklahoma, the channel when we talk about real life issues that matter to Oklahomans over 55, from housing and financing to lifestyle, downsizing, retirement, and everything in between. We keep it practical, local, and easy to understand. And today I've got some good news. You know how every time you open your bill lately, it feels like somebody added a surprise decimal point? Groceries are up, insurance is up, utility bills are up, gas is up, and for many homeowners, property taxes have become one of those expenses that quietly creep higher and higher every year. But this time, Oklahoma seniors may actually be getting a little breathing room. If you are 65 years old or older and own a home in Oklahoma, or you have parents, relatives, neighbors, or friends who are, this episode actually could save them a significant amount of money over time. And this is why this might be one of the most important videos you are watching this year. Because a lot of homeowners have no idea they may qualify for Senior Valuation Freeze, which can help slow down future property tax increases. For 20 and 26, Oklahoma has increased the income limit for Senior Valuation Freeze to $99,000 household income in many Oklahoma counties. Oklahoma County is included, Canadian, Cleveland, Logan, and I think McClain County. And that's pretty massive jump. Just 6 years ago, the qualifying income threshold was much lower. According to Oklahoma City Assessor Larry Stein, the limit has increased by 34% in 6 years. That's huge, especially because many seniors today are in a strange financial position. On a paper, that might look much better, wealthier, because the home values went up. But in reality, a lot of them living on the retirement income, the Social Security, on pensions, investment or fixed budgets, while everyday costs continue to climbing up. And honestly, this is where many people get confused. You hear the word senior freeze and you will automatically assume your property taxes completely stop. Not exactly. And this is very important to remember. The Senior Valuation Freeze in Oklahoma freezes the assessed value of your home for tax purposes, not actually the tax bill itself. Here is a simple example. Let's say your house was assessed at $250,000 when you qualified for the freeze. A few years later, homes around you were selling for much higher amount. Let's say your property value rises to $380,000. Without the freeze, your taxable value could continue climbing along the market. With the freeze, the assessed value used for taxes can stay locked at the earlier number. Now, your tax bill can still change because of school bonds or local voter-approved measures, whatever it may take. So the taxes themselves are not fully frozen, but the assessed value being locked can still create meaningful long-term savings. And in a market where Oklahoma home values have risen significantly over the past several years, that matters a lot. Who qualifies in Oklahoma? Let's break this down as simple as possible. To qualify for Senior Valuation Freeze in 2026, homeowners must be at least 65 years old or older. They have to own and occupy the home as your primary residence. Your total household income has to be under $99,000, and you have to have or you have to qualify for homestead exemptions. And when they say a household income, they mean income from all people living in the home, from more sources like retirement income, your social security, pension, investment incomes, and others. So yes, they look at total household income, not just one person. Now, here is another important detail. If you already have the senior valuation freeze in place on your homestead property, you do not need to reapply every year. That's one of the biggest misconceptions I hear. People panic thinking they missed paperwork or deadlines when in many cases the freeze simply continues as long as eligibility remains intact. Why this matters more than people realize? Let me paint a picture for you. Imagine two neighbors in Oklahoma City, both bought their homes years ago. One of them applied for the senior freeze and one never did. Fast forward several years of rising property values, one homeowner's taxable value stayed relevantly stable. The other homeowner kept getting reassessed upward. Over time, that difference can become substantial. And this is why I always tell people sometimes the most valuable financial decision isn't flash investment. Sometimes it's simply understanding the benefits already available to you. This is especially important for people trying to age in place and don't think about moving or downsizing. A lot of seniors want to remain in their houses they know and they love. They want familiar neighbors. They want churches nearby they go all life. They love the routines, the doctors, the grocery stores, the communities. But rising ownership costs can slowly pressure people out of the homes they otherwise could comfortably remain in. Programs like this can help reduce that pressure. Now, while we are talking about the savings, let's discuss another important one, which is Oklahoma Homestead Exemption. And honestly, I'm always surprised how many people in Oklahoma still haven't filed for it. The Homestead Exemption reduces the taxable assessed value of your primary residence. In Oklahoma County, this can save roughly between 75 to maybe 130 annually. Now I know somebody listening to this probably are thinking like, well, it's not really, $100 won't really change my life. I agree, maybe not. But if somebody handed you an extra $100 every year forever for filing out paperwork one time, most people would take it. I would. Especially because many homeowners qualify and simply never apply. For 2026, applications generally need to be filed by March 15 of 2026. So you will have to, if you didn't apply yet, you may apply next year for the 2027 year. And yes, you can usually do this online or by mail or in person, any way you wish. There's also another program many people overlook, the additional homestead exemption. This one is designed for household earning $30,000 or less annually here in Oklahoma. If qualified, homeowners may receive another reduction in assessed value and additional tax savings. So this exemption must be generally renewed every year until the age of 65. So this becomes especially important for lower income household or widowed seniors trying to manage rising expenses alone. And honestly, this is where I encourage families to step in and help parents or grandparents review what they qualify for. Because let's be real, paperwork is nobody's favorite hobby. And sometimes older homeowners simply don't realize those programs exist. Now let's talk about the huge benefits for disabled veterans. It's incredibly important. Oklahoma also offers a total property tax exemption for qualifying 100% service-connected disabled veterans. Not a discount, not a reduction, a full exemption on homestead property taxes for qualifying veterans. And in many cases, and unremarried surviving spouses may continue receiving these benefits. That can be financially life-changing. So if you know someone who served, especially someone who may not realize they qualify, this is absolutely worth looking into. Sometimes the benefits sit unused simply because nobody explained them clearly. I want to zoom out for a minute because this conversation is bigger than taxes. What we are really talking about is housing stability for older adults. And Oklahoma is especially in a very unique position nationally. Compared to many states, Oklahoma still offers relatively affordable housing, lower property taxes overall, and many programs that help long-time homeowners remain in the home longer. That matters because one of the biggest fears many retirees have is not necessarily healthcare. It's a housing insecurity. It's wondering, will I eventually be priced out of my home I worked my whole life for? And for many people, staying informed about the exemptions and freezes can make a meaningful difference in monthly affordability, especially right now. So, what is the next step? What should you do next? If you're thinking you or your family member may qualify, simply check your county assessor website, review your income limits, confirm homestead exemption status, gather tax return documents, pay attention to filing deadlines, and if you're unsure, call the assessor's office directly. When you call, you will actually speak to a real person who can help answer all your questions. Honestly, that alone feels really refreshing those days. I am Honorata Gruzowski, Oklahoma City Metro Realtor, helping you make smart and informed decisions. If you know someone over 65 in Oklahoma, share this episode with them. If you are watching and you are not subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button so you won't miss the conversation on saving money and reducing stress. And it might help learn how to stay in a home you or someone you love much longer. And that's what this channel is all about. It's about practical information, smarter decision, and helping Oklahomans over 55 navigate this chapter with confidence. If you find this helpful, make sure you subscribe to 55 Plus Living in Oklahoma, and I will see you next time.